Welcome to Fresh Thinkings by Snowden Optiro. My name is Susan Havlin. I'm Managing Consultant for the Geology team in Australia for Snowden Optiro. Today, we are going to dive into a technical challenge commonly faced in mining operations, accurately modelling and managing resource depletion in complex mining scenarios. Resource estimation is critical to maximising economic returns, and even minor inaccuracies can have a ripple effect on production, mining and profitability. To unpack this, I'm joined by Dr. Gregory Zhang, Senior Consultant at Snowden Optiro. Greg has extensive experience in mineral resource estimation, exploration and innovative methodologies, particularly in addressing technical challenges through advanced techniques like localised multiple indicator kriging. Welcome, Greg.
Thanks, Susan. I'm excited to discuss some of the complex technical issues were encountered and how we resolve them.
Let's set the stage. Greg, in mining, resource depletion and accurate estimation are constant challenges. Can you outline why this process is technically so difficult?
Of course, at its core, the problem of resource depletion involves reconciliation historical mining data with ongoing operations to create an accurate model of what remains in the ground. This is far from a straightforward process. So a couple reasons. The first is historical mining records often lack of precision. For example, high-grade areas might have been selectively mined, so leaving behind irregular patterns of depletion. And the second, deposits are rarely uniform. Variation in grades, geometry, and continuity can make it difficult to form a reliable model, especially if the geology includes faulting or complex mineralization patterns. A misstep in depletion modeling, either overestimating or underestimating remaining resources, can lead to significant financial and operational repercussions.
That is a challenging list. So what makes the traditional approach struggle with these complexities?
Well, traditional methods often assume uniform depletion or rely on manual adjustments to account for historical voids and high-grade removals. These approaches can be labor-intensive and prone to error, especially when dealing with extensive datasets or intricate geological settings.
So to bring this to life, can you share a specific case of where these challenges have come from?
Of course, certainly, a recent project required us to address a depletion problem where both historical and modern mining data was used. So the task was to prioritize the high-grade material during the localization of resource blocks into the underground voids left by the historical mining. So there are three key technical issues arose. So the first is data interrogation. We needed to combine the modern block models with legacy depletion wireframes, ensuring they are aligned and accurate. So the second is high-grade prioritization. So the client required a process that could identify and prioritize the high-grade materials assigned to the voids efficiently and accurately. So the third is time constraints. We only had 2 weeks to deliver a working solution. So we have to make the efficiency a critical factor.
Wow, that does actually sound quite complex. How did you approach solving this problem?
So we approach it in 3 stages, focusing on the technical intricacies of the problem. So the first is algorithm development. So we have to design a depletion algorithm capable of prioritizing the high-grade materials while respecting the constraints of the block model and the wireframe geometry. So this require advanced statistical techniques, including localized multiple indicator kriging. So the second is workflow optimization. We streamlined the integration of multiple data sources, depletion wireframes, grade models, and historical records into a single automated process. So this minimized the human error and ensured consistency. So the third is performance scaling. So with limited time, we used parallel processing to handle the computational demands, ensuring the algorithm could process large datasets quickly and accurately. So these efforts enabled us to accurately match the historical depletion records with modern resource models, prioritizing the high-grade areas while maintaining the geological integrity.
Wow, that sounds quite interesting. So what was the outcome for the client?
So the results are quite impressive. So by addressing the technical issues directly, we have successfully reduced the processing time by more than 50%. And then also we ensured the accuracy. The process ensured alignment between the historical voids and the high-grade depletion, also minimizing the discrepancy in the resource model. And then the third, the client gained a very clearer understanding of their remaining resources, which can better support their future mine planning and financial forecasting. So this approach ensured that the resource model was robust enough to inform future production decisions and confidence.
So, like traditionally, you would have your wireframes.
Yes.
You would use all the drilling that you have. You might even use some underground samples. And you would typically estimate into those wireframes, which would go through these voids, which was like overprinted after you've done the estimation. Are we doing this sort of technique because that's not reliable enough, or is it because we're not sure where the voids actually are? I'm just trying to understand why we would want to do this.
Okay, so there are a couple reasons for this, and there's a very long history of this project. So it has some very high grade in this area, but also with the low grade. So it's a mixed up population. And then with very complex mining history, there are more than 3 decades of mining in this area, and some of the back in the days the mining cutoff was much higher than nowadays, and so people would drive a small tunnel underground and only selectively mining those high-grade ports. So that makes it very hard to understand the whole area, the grade itself, and also we lack of the very good history of the production or reconciliation. So that's one thing. We know this area has high-grade gold, but we don't know exactly what has been mined. And later on, now modern days, when we did the survey, we have a rough idea about where it is. But after some practice, we know that the depletion might be just more aggressive than we thought. So one of the challenges in this project is we have to develop some very conservative algorithm to make sure any blocks, even just next to the depletion wireframes, we need to deplete that as well. So usually if we simply throw that into the software, it won't take out those blocks. And so to name another challenge, it will be this is a big area where all the wireframes, they have the very complex geometry. To using the very mini-scale blocks to represent those wireframes will take forever. So that's why we have to develop some parallel processing mechanisms to upspeed this process. So usually early before, if we want to deplete one domain, it might take more than a day just for the processing. And nowadays take probably 1 or 2 hours to get everything done.
Yeah. All right, so this is not really for someone who's starting up an underground mine. This is someone who's either acquired a mine that has been going for decades or a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is a very specific challenge on the project basis.
All right. So what lessons can we draw from this case for others facing similar challenges in resource depletion and estimation?
So the key takeaways is that technical problems required tailored solutions grounded in the sound geostatistical principles. Some broader lesson will include, so ensure your historical data and current data, they are reconciled, aligned, and data inconsistencies can cascade into the major inaccuracies. And understand your geology context is essential for accurate modeling. That's always a rule. And then techniques like LMIK or conditional simulation are powerful tools to solve complex estimation problems. And then the last, automating the repetitive tasks and streamlined data processing can significantly improve efficiency.
Greg, this has been an enlightening discussion. It's clear that solving technical problems in resource estimation isn't about just applying the latest tools. It's about leveraging experience to address the unique aspects of each project. For listeners facing technical challenges in their projects, whether it's resource depletion, estimation, or something else, I encourage you to reach out to Snowden Optiro. Our team of experts is ready to help you address these challenges head on. That wraps up today's episode of Fresh Thinking. Greg, thank you very much for sharing your insights.
Thank you, Susan. It has been great to discuss how we tackle those technical questions and challenges.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our podcast on your preferred platform. Stay tuned for more insights from the mining industry.